What is up, SBL, and welcome to Week 8 of Match of the Week. I am one of your commentators for today, Spencer, with my partner, the Commish.
Mr. J-Doggin 13. Some people call me Joe Doggin. We
What
got
is
an
up?
exciting match for you. Not much.
So, this is probably one of the new hot rivalries, I would say, in the league. We've got Saget versus AJ today. Now, Saget is 2-0 on AJ, but last season they went to the last game both times. AJ got haxed a little bit the first set. Saget beat him outright the second time. And AJ's pretty new to the league, so this will be exciting to see today.
Definitely, I agree. But you can't sleep on Saget either. With a win on Richer last week, that puts Saget at 3-4. He's making a case for a good playoff run here. He just needs a couple more wins, so we'll have to see if he can do it today.
For sure. And AJ, if he wants to hold a high seed in the playoffs, he certainly wants this win as well. So I think we can just kick it off and start talking about the teams. I'll hit up AJ's team. So we're looking at a Choice Scarf and Amorous. We have not seen a ton of this so far. He's been kind of holding back with the Amorous, much more focusing on Araquanid and Primate for his offense. And this is kind of a typical set, I'd say. You have your Fairy coverage, your ground coverage, Springtime Storm. This is pretty standard, cool set. You got Crocodile, Yachi. This will be pretty big for the Chimpow. Obviously, Intimidate's crucial here. Terra Bug, traditional stabs, nothing too crazy. We've got the Empoleon, we've got an Expert Belt competitive, more Terra Bug action. We got the Priority and Vacuum Wave, which could definitely be important. Salazzle, Helping Hand, Fake Out, Thunder Wave, which definitely is big. I remember when I went up against AJ, I considered Thunder Wave as well. It's very good against this team. Sinistchop, arguably I'd say the MVP of the team and the centerpiece. It definitely holds a lot of the mods together. Trick Room, Rage Powder, Matcha Gotcha, Standard, and then the AV Iron Thorns with Terra Water, so that's definitely going to be powerful with Thunder Punch, Body Press, Ice Punch, and Rock Slide.
Yeah, and then on the Saget side of things, we have a pretty traditional Chien-Pao set. What's interesting, though, is it's Terra Fire, probably to avoid some kind of Will-O-Wisp. Rather than the Choice set where a custom is sitting on Dragapult, it's actually a Herb set to allow that Phantom Force to hit instantly. Also standard moves with Dragon Darts and Will-O-Wisp for some extra support. We got Scope Lens Inteleon with Snipe Shot, Air Cutter, and a Taunt just in case something gets a little frisky. We got Muck with the Toxic Orb Fling. Definitely an interesting strategy there. I'll be curious to see how that plays out. And following it up with Mesprit with the Covert Cloak for Imprisoned Trick Room shenanigans to make sure that that room does not get tricky. And to round things off, we actually have Squawkabilly with the Choice Scarf. This is also a Final Gambit set. So that'll be interesting to see what that can do, because there's a couple Pokemon on AJ's team that, will die to a Final Gambit, being an Amorous and Salazzle, and potentially Sinistchop if it Terras.
Yeah, Squawkabilly is good to see. I will say both these players have taken great advantage of their low-tier Pokemon this season, and you see this week, AJ's kind of pulling back. No Primeape, no Araquanid, but Saget's still kind of full throttle. We've got Squawkabilly here to take advantage of some mons, and then Muck as well. So definitely interesting to see how this all plays out.
No, I definitely agree, and there's a lot of interesting sets here. Some fun names I think we'll see. One of the more interesting things I think on Saget's team is I guess he didn't want to proc the competitive, which is fair because he's running Guts on his Squawkabilly. I think that's a pretty good ability, especially with the Will-O-Wisp we've seen in the past. And, it could even have something with Thunder Wave this week from Salazzle. Could see some boosted damage. We'll see.
It's super interesting. When I was actually building his team, I was kind of a little like, did I make a wrong ability because I didn't see Intimidate? But I didn't bring Intimidate either when I faced this team. It's got competitive. It has a lot of reasons why you might want to avoid that. So I think you made it. Yeah.
Yeah, and even not seeing it now, Primeape with the Defiant is another deterrent for that. So plenty of reasons to not bring it.
Well, like, Contrary. I mean, he's got a lot of reasons.
That's true too. Yeah, Contrary. You don't want to be boosting anything.
Yeah, he pretty much shut out those abilities completely, I'd say. Looks like we're into the match.
Yeah, awesome. Looks like we have Saget here maybe selecting his team and then just about to prep, and we'll get right into it.
Love the Blastoise picture here.
The Blastoise picture is great. He's vibing right now.
I don't think you could get a better one.
He's probably enjoying the rain, like in Pokken, just doing a little rain dance right now.
Definitely. We got to shout out Saget. He's actually got a YouTube channel, Saget009. He's been posting weekly vids. Feel free to. He's going to be posting his perspective on this match, so definitely check him out.
Yeah, they've been fun to watch for sure. It looks like we're diving right into it. Seems like AJ has a plan already.
Yeah, he's going straight for his picks here. I
That was a
Didn't even
fast
really
selection.
see. Yeah, I mean, you can't even see what he picked. It was so
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
So
I know.
this is you gotta wonder if this is premeditated, whatever this strategy
It
is.
kind of seemed like it a little bit. He had Salazzle and Enamorous as the two leads. I think Crookenbeck, and I don't remember the fourth. It might have been Sinistra. But definitely looks like he's coming out hard offensively. The Choice Scarf could be huge too, because I'd have to imagine that it can kill a Chin Pao, and if it Terras and he calls with an Earth Power, I'm assuming that kills too.
Oh, you'd have to think. Chimpao is so especially frail. I'm really curious how Inteleon actually ends up doing. I think he could have a really good matchup here with the way he did his coverage of being Air Cutter and Snipe Shot. I could see it doing a lot of big damage.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
especially avoiding Rage Powder. I almost forgot about that. That's actually good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, that is a massive thing Snipe Shot can do. Yeah, just kind of looking at the moves here on Saget's side, it doesn't look like there's anything that can accidentally lower a stat, so I don't think he has to worry about that with the contrary of the competitive mons. So that's probably a good call on Saget's part.
For sure.
Yeah, this will definitely be interesting here because we know that all sets so far have gone to game 3, so we're hoping for a long one here tonight.
Well, yeah, Saget definitely didn't have a premeditated strategy based on how that took, so I'm curious what he ends up deciding on.
Or he wanted to use all the time allotted to him. We got some cool pictures from both teams. I love the
wow, that Scizor one was sick. Those
they both were very cool. That's pretty impressive. It looks like we got the Elite Four stage. That's always fun too. Tua and Chin Pao versus Infernus and Yamato. Oh, we got some Deadlock
Slazzle
nicknames over here. Good game. You should try it.
It is a good game. So, okay, looks like I'm curious how he's going to stop the Squawkabilly from potentially showing off a final Gambit pretty early. So.
Yeah, it seems like there's fake out potential on the play. We have a good spread moves as well from Yamato the Enamorous here. Chin Pao isn't bulky without the Terra, so I'm wondering if we'll see a Terra from both sides potentially.
I'm not exactly sure, and it's still Sash at least, so the Chimpao can survive this turn in the worst case and get off a huge Ice Spinner. So that's definitely a trade he could attempt to make.
Oh, definitely. I think this is AJ's trainer. Yeah, it's AJ's trainer. So AJ's going for the early Terra Fairy. Want to get some big damage off here.
Wipes away that the ice weakness. That could definitely be big. If he ends up deciding to take that trade, then he won't get now.
Definitely. The Protect from Chin Pao. Unfortunately, I don't know that it was a targeted Pokemon there. Tua getting hit with the Fake Out, so that thing will not be moving.
And this is a huge Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah, does it kill Squawkabilly?
I tend to think so.
Squawkabilly lives. I gotta admit, that's pretty impressive from a kid.
I'm fairly surprised, I must say. But I guess it's no boosting item, but I thought with the ×2 from the Terra, that would have got the kill.
No, definitely. Yeah, what'll be interesting here is to see how he will react to the still faster Enamorous, though. That Choice Scarf is definitely something that's a problem right now.
Well, it seems like AJ is considering preserving Salazzle here, which will be interesting. Is Saget going to potentially force damage onto Salazzle, just delete it so it can't get T-Waves off? Is he going to pressure Enamorous because its offense is so strong?
Yeah, I'd have to imagine that the Enamorous is still going to be the first thing on the field even after Squawkabilly here. Preserving Salazzle is definitely smart against a team like this where you want that fake out pressure to always be a constant threat.
Definitely.
Here we have Wraith the Crocodile coming in, getting a big Intimidate off.
No clear amulet from the Chimpao, so these will definitely add up over time. Oh, and Saget's going to burn his Terra here as well.
I'd have to imagine it's the Terra Fire here to resist that Fairy move, and it looks like it is.
Big resist. We'll have to see if it gets off the damage that made it worth it,
Yeah, no, definitely. Because Enamorous is no joke, especially after a Terra Fairy. That could still be doing some big damage.
He gets his first...
Okay, just kidding.
Okay, Child Po took it very well, I must say.
Yeah, Child Po a little bulky, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, unfortunately, though, crunch into the Crocodile.
A very good switch by AJ there, getting Intimidate and calling the attack to get the resist.
I mean, when you're in Saget's position, that's something you definitely want to do. I mean, you don't want your team being Thunderwaved, especially when you don't currently have the speed control. That Enamorous is certainly looking threatening, though. But we bring in the Inteleon. Could we see something huge here, kind of like you were saying?
Yeah, the Inteleon has a lot of potential here, but I just don't even know if it lives these Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleams that well.
Yeah, it depends if there's any bulk investment or you know, I just can't imagine an Amorous is a weak Pokemon. It is a spread move, so that's one thing going for it. But it looks like AJ could potentially opt to save it.
He may want to get fake out pressure back on the board. He has such a heavy advantage. I'm curious if he goes on the offensive though. He has very easy, you know, ways to do both.
Definitely.
Still coming to the D Gleams potentially.
Yeah, I think a Snipe Shot is definitely something we'll probably see here shortly. It'll be interesting to see what Saget actually targets, though. Oh, big Protect on the Crocodile. Let's see if Saget can read that, or if he's going to...
Potential upside if he decides to delete the Enamorous here.
Definitely. The Dazzling Gleam comes off. How's it live? Oh my gosh, massive damage. And Snipe Shot into the Crocodile's Protect. That was a good Protect from AJ.
So how much is this -1 Chien-Pao going to do would be the real question.
It is definitely interesting. Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good as well. That now puts it into kill range.
This Enamorous is pressuring 2 kills, though, I must say. That's not... It looks like AJ may try and get fake out at the same time. It's going to be difficult to deal with.
I think this is a good play from AJ, because it seems like it could be a potential Protect here from the Inteleon to preserve it. Because AJ already knows that he's not going to be able to kill the Chien-Pao. And the Chien-Pao, you know, is wanting to kill the Enamorous, because otherwise that Enamorous is just going to start eating up.
Well, the Dazzling Gleam seems fairly free for AJ at the moment. So, until Saget brings out a Mon that's faster or can kill it in time, because I think it takes 2 kills at those moments, so Saget has to play defensive almost.
I know, definitely. Now, this is a little bit of a bold play. Well, actually, no, it's not, because Dazzling Gleam will kill, but there is the Protect. That's probably what
Does he have... He doesn't even have Sucker that could kill, I bet, right?
No, he does not. He has Crunch, but...
Oh, yeah.
He should be able to live one more Dazzling Gleam, barring the crit. I'm thinking... Ooh, just barely. That's a big live there.
And he ends the Enamorous. That's actually a really good turn for him.
That is a huge turn for him. What'll be interesting here, though, is now that AJ has established that fake out pressure, how will Saget react? Because he can't Protect with Inteleon, and Chien-Pao is going to die to a fake out. So we'll have to see what the play is here.
I wonder if he just takes that cost, though, because I feel like Snipe Shot will have a lot of pressure. Now, I don't know how well this AV Iron Thorns takes it, though. He may take it quite well, but the Snipe Shot can do some damage.
Oh, it definitely can. I almost wonder if we'll just see the double attack here, just to get some offensive presence, because I'm not sure that if you're Saget right now, you have the resources to start switching and try to preserve somebody.
I'm wondering that myself. His team is just not naturally that bulky to be switching in. He definitely needs to get advantage early for Inteleon and Chien-Pao to take advantage of their abilities and speed.
Definitely. I guess it depends on who the 4th member is. I'd say that, obviously Muck has some pretty great bulk, but most of the other Pokemon on the team, not super bulky. Mesprit can have some bulk, but everyone else is normally not seen as the bulkiest Pokemon.
I mean, a Dragapult switch could potentially be good. Okay, so he does not protect his Chien-Pao.
He goes for the Sacred Sword.
Ooh.
Decent damage.
Get an
Ice Punch, and that is a dead Inteleon.
That's a smart Ice Punch. Definitely covering a Dragapult switch in and also finishing off the Inteleon.
So what'll be interesting here is to see who is in the back, though. If it's Dragapult, that's PF1. That is the Dragapult. So this definitely got interesting because
this a
AJ
lot
is
of
not able
now.
to protect.
Yes.
I will say the Salazzle does have the Focus Sash and it's intact. That is one benefit from that side of the field. However, there's still a lot that can happen here in this turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the approach is here for Saget. I mean, you obviously have this great Dragapult move, but you have the T-Wave risk from AJ. You have just the risk of getting Ice Punched as well.
I guess the main question is, do we think an Ice Punch kills Dragapult?
Sword and Ruins on the field. That definitely plays a factor with that.
That is true. It looks like AJ might be going for the spread move as well.
Ooh,
we do see the Dragon Dart.
You gotta think he's going for the Salazzle with Chien-Pao, I think. Yeah,
I think so. So what'll be interesting here to see is if both Rock Slides connect, because I think that definitely will make a difference. If Chien-Pao can somehow dodge,
he hits.
But unfortunately, it does not for Chien-Pao. Still in a pretty interesting situation here. I can't say that. Depends on how much the Dragon Dart could potentially do.
I have trouble seeing this Dragapult killing the Crocodile in time. Is the difficult situation for Saget here.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think it's going to be tough for... And AJ's going for double attack, so...
But just smart.
Yeah.
Keep the Dragon Darts single target on both.
Yep, looks like Phantom Force. Oh, that's pretty smart, getting rid of the item. I wonder if that would be an... Oh, unfortunately it doesn't kill,
Doesn't
though.
get the kill.
That
would have helped with...
bold-
Does he live a knockoff? No
Oh.
item?
No item, he does not. That could be good information.
For sure.
Looks like with that, game 1 is wrapped up, and AJ takes it. So I wonder how we will see Saget adjust to that Choice Scarf and Amorous.
I think one adjustment for now is that Squawkabilly probably needs to be repositioned, whether it's in the back, because it seems like the Scarf and Amorous is kind of a natural check to it. And I don't know if that means bring Muck or bring Mesprit. Muck, I think, could help with an Amorous, but then at the cost of being weak to his heavy ground presence with Crocodile, and I think that the Iron Thorns also has... Well, the Iron Thorns doesn't have a ground move, so I think Alolan Muck could be pretty decent now.
Yeah, and Amorous does have Earth Power. I don't know how much that would do, but I can't imagine it's going to be too small. Especially since there's not a recovery item on the Muck. It's Toxic Orb with Flame, which will probably do really good damage, but definitely hurts your survivability on the field.
That Poison Jab damage could be just worth the trade. It's definitely tough. He needs to find an answer for an Amorous in some form.
Definitely. Especially when you have a lack of Fake Out on your team. It kind of instantly sets you up to kind of play on the back end. We do have the Covert Cloak Mesprit. He could consider setting his own Trick Room, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure if that's what he wants to do or not. It just depends on the game state and who's on the field.
Well, based off that last game, it seemed like Saget has speed control over everybody except the Enamorous, so a Trick Room could help, but at the cost of making Crocodile and Iron Thorns way better. So it's tough to see how he approaches it.
It definitely is. I was too busy yapping, though, and I did not see who AJ actually selected, so I guess it'll be a fresh experience for me.
Yeah, I wonder if... I gotta think the Enamorous is coming again. It did so well game 1, and I just don't think Saget has as many answers for it as other mons on the team.
Yeah, and I would think that he'd actually bring it back this time, though. It'll be interesting to see for sure. Because if you're AJ, you gotta be thinking, okay, he wants to counter this Enamorous, and who's the counter? Most likely Muck. So, then again, the Muck can't protect, so if he does lead with Fake Out, that's, again, instant pressure.
We didn't see Sinistchop that game either. I'm wondering if it's just the Chien-Pao and Dragapult offense that have kind of taken out of this matchup a bit for AJ at the moment. So it'll be interesting if he gets brought back now.
Yeah, it is Terra Dark, though, so it has a lot of good resistances against some of Saget's better Pokemon. Of course, Sacred Sword is always a constant threat, but...
For sure. It's got a high defense stat, naturally, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if, with Intimidate, those Sacred Swords could be mitigated.
No, definitely. Looks like Squawk came back with PF1.
A similar lead.
Yep, same lead here. Let's see how Saget adjusts his play this time.
We saw it did live... Oh, we saw it live to Dazzling Gleam, the Squawkabilly last time around.
Looks like he's going for a Helping Hand Terra Fairy this time, though.
Definitely an increase. I'm not sure. Dragapult's obviously under a lot of pressure. I don't know if he wants to burn his Terra turn 1 as well, but he may have to if he needs to live potentially a Terra Fairy attack.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with that. And Squawkabilly, I'm not sure what it's really going to do at the moment. I mean, a Helping Hand could potentially just kill it. I wonder if he'll leave it in, think he can live, or kind of make an aggressive swap and let something else take that damage.
Okay, and AJ goes for the Terra, like we mentioned, so this is another Terra Fairy coming out. Just getting rid of those weaknesses on Amorous, boosting the damage.
Yeah, big Terra Fairy here. It's going to be interesting to see how Saget reacts with his own Terra. I'd have to imagine it's not Terra Fighting, but I'm not that psychic. Looks like it is the Terra Fairy. Yeah. I think that this Dragapult will at least live 1.
Helping Hand boost is pretty scary, though.
It definitely is scary. It could, especially if it's modest, that could do some major damage.
Yeah,
it's actually the Springtide Storm, so it's even stronger.
There's a miss.
But there is a miss, and it missed.
That's a massive miss. Does this kill the
Dragapult? Oh, it doesn't. This is a massive turn for here with that miss. But he does go for the Dragon
that's gonna
Dart.
double. That's gonna double it. Is that gonna?
Yeah, that
huge
does.
Kill on the Sash.
That is a dead Salazzle there.
Just Squawkabilly.
And it goes for the final Gambit, which should KO. And it does! That is a massive turn. That is a very bold play, but it works out for Saget.
I think those were the two biggest threats to Saget's team, and he was able to get through that.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Saget's looking like he's in a great position on the board here. Definitely unfortunate that a Springtide Storm missed, but you know, sometimes you got to be careful when you're clicking those 80 accuracy moves.
He definitely chose that risk, because he could have went for a D-Gleam and probably still did a sizable amount of damage to the Squawk ability. And if he had gone for Final Gambit, it wouldn't have done that much damage if he was low. So
very true. I'm wondering almost if he had like a pre-calc and that was the only way to kill the Dragapult.
I'm definitely wondering that. I think because Dragapult has such a high speed and draft, you're able to invest this bulk that latter Dragapults may not have, which is definitely something Saget's taken advantage with both his Chimpout and his Dragapult over the season. So it ended up paying off big dividends there. I wouldn't be surprised if it had a decent amount of bulk on his set.
Yep, I 100% agree. Looks like we're going to see potentially an aggressive option here from AJ.
Well, we still have the Phantom Force on deck, which is the big part here for, you know,
Dragapult
only had the Dragon Darts.
Yeah, fastest thing on the field with Dragon Darts. That's a massive, massive move right there.
Dragapult just so naturally pressures Protect, because Dragon Darts ignores Protect if you do Protect in front of it, and then also Phantom Force breaks Protect. So he has a lot of ways to kind of destroy passive play, I would say.
I 100% agree. I wonder what we'll see here from this option. Looks like we'll see the Phantom Force. That'll connect no matter what here, even if it is into the protected target.
And he goes for the Thorns. Not that much damage.
Just does not do any damage though. We'll see a snipe shot.
Doubles.
Does a crit. He reads.
Does he get a crit?
He got the crit. The crit probably definitely mattered there with that AV. This looks like this is Saget's game right now. AJ might have to. If you're AJ, you might start thinking about how you react to game 3.
Yeah, I think the offense was very prevalent here. This is kind of the flip side to the advantage, where if Enamorus is gone, Saget's Mons go kind of unchecked in the speed tier department, and he can do this ridiculous output from these two.
I 100% agree. I think if I'm Saget, though, I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, okay, I did get a little bit lucky. I need to find a different solution to the Enamorus here. I can't lead my Squawk ability.
Unfortunately,
maybe he's tough.
He can be tough. I love Squawk ability, but I do think we need to take a step back. You know, we got a big springtime miss, but if this game played out the same leads again, AJ is going to click D-Gleam now, so he needs to find a more reasonable solution, I would think, because I don't think AJ would risk that again.
Yeah, I don't think he would either. It definitely was a favorable turn for Saget. But, you know, luckily for us viewers at home, this does take us to game 3. Unfortunately for AJ, that was a huge miss, though.
We love game 3s here. I'm wondering, the Terrifier Chimpout really was not that bad against the Enamorus previously, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes Chimpout lead again, because it was able to kind of sponge those D-Gleams and 2-hit the Enamorus, even, you know, and if it kind of forces the Terra Fairy out. Whether that's good for Saget or not, I don't know, but I think that could definitely be in play again.
Yeah, I honestly think that's pretty good as well. I think, honestly, just leading Pokemon that can deal with Fake Out is pretty good as well. Which he only has a few. You know, there's
the Covert Cloak on Mesprit.
That's true too. Looks like AJ's really believing in the old strat here. But will he make an adjustment? Maybe bring in Polion to kind of deal with that Inteleon just in case something happens.
I mean, he's
really
like,
hard to say.
He's probably thinking to himself, I lost that because of a miss. So he's definitely still in his head that, and he's not wrong. And Enamorus is still really good here, so I don't think he should shy away from it yet.
I would agree with that as well. I think his strat is really good. It's just maybe in the back end, mix up some of the mons here a little bit. I still think the Helping Hand and Dazzling Gleam play is a very strong option as well.
I almost wonder if the Iron Thorns is the one that should go, because I still feel like the Intimidate and the Yachi Berry kind of give Crook some leeway in this matchup that it wouldn't normally have.
I mean, that is definitely fair, but when we're talking about that damage that was done to the Thorns there, I mean, we're talking about a Phantom Force doing, what, 40, 60 HP?
It's definitely really bulky, which is kind of what AJ needs in the back, but he brought both again, no swap, so... Well,
honestly, if he saves his Terra for that, if it's Terra Water, I don't really see a lot of options to deal with that thing in its bulk. He's gonna... I mean, Saget would have to hit that thing multiple times.
That's what would be interesting if he kind of leads this Chimpout and forces the Enamorus Terra out, so that's kind of something he needs to think about. He does, Chimpow's back.
Let's see. It's a good adjustment, so we'll have to see how AJ reacts here, because this is the first time that there's 2 mons with Protect on the field. You'd have to think the obvious play is to double Protect here.
I
So you
think
could
Saget has to
definitely reposition
consider it.
yourself. Yeah, for sure. No feint shrug TM on the field, so no getting through those protects. But you could reposition yourself and maybe set yourself up a little bit.
Well, I think we're uncertain. I mean, he did show the Helping Hand version, but I think the Terra Fairy version won't kill either of these if he Terrafires the Chien-Pao at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he could always do just a double attack. That's always a possibility.
Seems like he's considering switching out here. It's definitely an option, and we'll see if Saget kind of goes on the passive side this turn, if he's aggressive.
Oh, going straight for a Moonblast into the Inteleon.
Oh, a switch.
There is a switch, though.
Is this a dragon?
Oh, yeah, Freak Blob the Muck.
This is huge.
This could be huge. We'll have to see how well he takes it. How bulky is this?
I don't
Muck
think he
after all?
Terra Fairied either. He's vulnerable to Chien-Pao this turn.
It looks like I think Terra comes after Switch, so it's hard to, if I remember correctly. So I think, but there is no Terra on the field. No Terra on the field at all. That is definitely interesting. We'll have to see here. Moonblast. How much damage does it do?
Not
You
that
know,
much.
that's not much. That's respectable though, because we have to remember that this thing can't heal. It has no way of getting its health back.
This definitely puts into question if the Fling Poison Orb rather was better than just a traditional Gluttony berry set. Because I think that extra health could be important here, but it's tough to say.
It's definitely tough to say here. We could see a Fling payoff in major proportion here. I think it really is going to depend on if he can predict that an Amherst is not feeling very safe right now.
I think Saget has to kind of consider the switch here. It's locked into Moonblast, that's one thing, so it can't get that spread damage off it had been before, and it's just pressured by both mons, so a switch here makes a lot of sense for Mage.
No, 100%. Looks like we'll have to see what happens. Salazzle, the shiny Salazzle, great shiny. Looks like we're seeing the Terra Fire most likely. Not going to help much against that Rock Slide.
Definitely. Makes you think he probably ice moved into Salazzle if he wanted Terra Fire to save himself.
Yeah, which, you know, getting rid of that Sash could be pretty good. I'm curious to see what the Muck will do, though, because honestly, a Fling onto the Iron Thorns here could be huge if that gets the poison and starts whittling that thing down, because that thing is going to be a pain to remove with that Terra Water.
Terra Water is definitely going to be huge here. No Terra Fairy from AJ, so the Namorous is still vulnerable to some of those previously mentioned moves like this Ice Spin.
That does massive damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Looks the Rock Slide. It misses somebody.
A miss.
On Freak Blob, though. You know, Chien-Pao took that decently well. The Poison Jab, and it does kill. That is a massive kill there. No fake out pressure. But we have a Sash and Namorous that can come in and kind of clean house here.
I'm wondering... Oh, but it has Earth Power. That'll be kind of the interesting thing. He may lock himself into Earth Power now after that Terra Fire.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough play. He could also bring the Intimidate, because they're both physical attackers here. Maybe reduce that damage a little bit.
Yeah, we see an Amorous back. You gotta think he just goes for Earth Power now after the Terra.
Yeah, probably Earth Power. The question will be, who does he target? Because the Chien-Pao could definitely protect here, or the Chien-Pao could go all out straight for the Ice Spinner into the Enamorous slot.
It's definitely tough. The Chien-Pao, leaving it unchecked, I mean, that's a potential Ice Spinner that can go off this turn.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the Earth Power comes off, but we don't see it protect!
No kill!
The Earth Power live! We see the Ice Spinner into the Enamorous!
I think that's going to kill based off creep.
It kills!
And it does.
Massive play right there. That was
Salazzle
definitely...
and an Amorous gone.
Yeah, the Rock Slide could even things out, though, and it does. I'm still wondering how he's going to break through this massively defensive tank that is known as Iron Thorns.
Yeah. Well, you got to think Dragapult's probably still in the back. Does he potentially have Final Gambit? What is he? I mean, is Inteleon in the back?
Okay, Final Gambit would be a huge play here. If he brought Squawk in the back, that would be something. It looks like it is Dragapult and Inteleon, though. So we'll have to see if... We'll have to see what they can do here. I'm just looking at this Iron Thorns, and this thing is looking extremely threatening.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you'll try to do a Wisp or something along those lines. I'm not really sure.
I think that's a pretty good option, because the Snipe Shot obviously checks the Crocodile for the most part, so a Wisp could definitely weaken the Thorns and give him some necessary living power, probably.
Yeah, it's true. I think if you're in this position, there's no protect plays that can be had. You need to Everybody needs to be under the full offensive. It's kind of risky here, though, either way. It'll be interesting to see what Saget does. If he does a double protect, if he goes for double attacks.
You
Really
see,
hard to say.
AJ's been usually pretty passive when protecting the crook on this turn, so he's going aggressive. It looked like no protect. So will Saget has the option to call that. No protect.
He does Will-O-Wisp, and it connects. That's a massive burn. Will we see the snipe shot into the crook?
You'd have to think this is a snipe shot.
The snipe shot is into the crook,
kill?
and it does kill. It's a one-hit KO.
How much is this Thorn's gonna do a burn? Is that?
It doesn't kill.
2-hit.
Okay, this is definitely interesting, though. Will Saget have the damage to actually kill Thorns here?
I think Saget's gonna break through this. I mean, you got to think he's got 2 to 3 turns of just damage going off here. It's gonna take 2 hits to kill both.
Yeah, it looks like there is no protect play, so that definitely
definitely smart by Saget. Just get as much damage off as you can.
That massive damage. Nope. Oh, it is a crit. Yep.
That's a crit. Yeah.
And burnt. I think Saget might actually be able to pull this one out. This looks like
is in an amazing spot. I think this is Saget's game to win.
Yeah, it's definitely looking rough for AJ here. I mean, he still has the herb intact, so he can just launch a Phantom Force. And with that burn, you know, it doesn't actually. Yep, that's it. Crit probably didn't matter, but it looks like Saget has defeated AJ.
You have to give a lot of credit to Saget, kind of like more passive play early, and then that game, the 2 big turns were when he ice spinnered, just not respecting the Namorous and called him there, and then that snipe shot turn to just kill the crook. Those were 2 huge turns where AJ chose aggressive plays and Saget made him pay.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, looking at the set here, you know, game 2 was definitely a little rough, but Saget definitely adjusted game 3, and just like before, all sets have gone to game 3, and it looks like we're continuing that trend.
Well, you didn't go to game 3 once. Every set without J-Dog, maybe.
I meant more so between AJ and Saget. But.
Yes. What is up, Jared?
Looks like we have our 2 competitors here, AJ and Saget. So yeah, how you feel, Saget?
I feel very lucky. That game 2 in particular was crazy. But overall, you know, I think I made the right plays. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It was really good adjustment game 3. That Thorns was way bulkier than I thought. I will say, AJ, I don't know what kind of EVs you were running, but that thing could take hits.
I was max HP 212 defense.
Wow, with the assault vest, that thing's a very bulky boy.
Yeah, I just know we saw that Phantom Force and it did like 40 or 60, something along those lines. And we're like, oh, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I was worried the snipe shot wasn't going to kill after that did so little, but the crit kind of bailed me out, so it still might have killed. I'm not sure.
I calced that beforehand, and it only does like 40% with no crit, so I think I live there.
Gotcha.
There you have it. Yeah. So no Sinistra and no Trick Room play, which is kind of interesting. Any thoughts into that? I guess, AJ, any reason why you didn't want to bring Sinistra?
The getting Trick Room up is like, it requires me to invest Terra basically for it to even happen. And then once it does happen, I don't think I even like have super strong ways to abuse it against this team. Like the type matchups just don't really work. Like the Arachnid's like okay, I guess, but it like drops to any of the physical mons on Saget's team.
No, that's definitely fair. Yeah, with Dragapult and Shin Pao running around, it's definitely tough to live without the Terra Dart coming into play.
Yeah, and I just realized that Scarf and Amorous should just win the matchup, and it would have if it could hit its moves, but you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's 80% seem like they miss 80% of the time. But
I am curious, why not go for? Because would Gleam not have killed Squawkabilly there?
No, we saw game 1. It only did like 70%.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I thought maybe with the Helping Hand in the Terra and whatnot.
Oh, I didn't go for it because we saw that Helping Hand Gleam only did like 90% to the pult and didn't kill it. or
With the
something.
spring, yeah, the
right?
springtime potentially.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the springtail later. Yeah, the Gleam has a chance to not kill there on the Pult. I knew you were gonna Terra that turn, so I just clicked Springtide because that actually guarantees the kill, even through Terra. At least it's supposed to. You have some bulk, I guess.
Yeah, I usually invest on Dragapult to like speed, like its speed stat is so high naturally that I can just creep things and then put a little bit into bulk to kind of surprise things.
It's definitely an advantage you kind of get when you draft Chien-Pao and Dragapult, or these just massive speed tiers, because it's something I feel too, Saget, where I have Regieleki, where you get all these extra EVs in bulk, and you kind of get to live stuff that you're not normally going to live in ladder play. So it's definitely a nice advantage there, and it ended up mattering. Do you think that Terrifier Chien-Pao is kind of like the difference for you, kind of edging out that win?
Definitely, I felt like I had to respect Enamorus, even though it feels like you've kind of been hiding it a bit. I just knew that it was going to tear up Chien-Pao and Dragapult, so yeah, I had to go defensive as opposed to my usual Terra types, and I was really, really worried you were going to Earth Power turn 1, which is why I made such a defensive play, but yeah, it ended up working out.
I think that was probably one of the biggest turns from that game 3 was where AJ Earth powered the Muck and you were able to get off that Ice Spinner and kill the Enamorus, because that kind of freed up the rest of the game for the rest of your mons to kind of tackle Iron Thorns as kind of like a raid boss sort of aspect.
Yeah, definitely. And I just figured one way or another, one of my Pokemon's probably gonna fall, and then get to move before Iron Thorns. So I doubled in there and figured I'd probably get the KO one way or another.
Definitely, and then I'm trying to think, how'd you feel? Squawkabilly ended up getting that big final gambit. Do you kind of regret bringing him game 2 even though it worked out, or do you think like I thought you may have had him in the back game 3? We were kind of rooting for him.
I almost did. No, I definitely think if I were to go back, I wouldn't have brought it, but because it was, had that clutch dodge, I can't say that I'm upset with it. But yeah, no, I think, well, that's why I brought Muck, is I was just like, the fake out kind of invalidates it, and then it's, even though I have max HP, it does just kind of get chipped down by Enamorus.
Definitely. One of your mons I thought was going to do really well was kind of Inteleon going in the matchup. I thought the snipe shots could be really good, avoiding the Sinistral redirection, and he ended up getting some big damage off with the crits here and there. So
yeah, Inteleon speed with that damage is definitely something scary, and it can really add up if you don't resist that thing. I will say, quick little shout out to AJ. Your nicknames are very cool with the Deadlock reference. We like that.
So yeah, I finally unveiled my Squawk.
We had been waiting.
Squawk too. We were wondering where it was.
Unfortunately, the schedule gods put Matt 1 week before you, so
Yeah, so tough.
It's okay. Now you've set off a sequence of more Squawk 2 based nicknames.
The squawking has begun.
I couldn't believe that that Poison Jab picked up the Salazzle kill the last game.
I was a little surprised. I hit the Ice Spinner and it did over half. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna pick this kill up, and then I realized for a second, I was like, oh, it definitely resists Poison Jab. Like, this might not die, but I guess Sword of Ruin just kind of put it over the edge.
Yeah.
Salazzle was definitely behind it. Amorous, I thought, was a huge force in this matchup too. Just the fake out pressure, the typing defensively actually ended up being pretty nice for switches and whatnot.
Yeah, and the constant Thunder Wave pressure for that too. I mean, at any point in time, if it wasn't respected, there goes your speed. So
yeah, that's kind of where the Dragapult is very good, because the Dragon Darts actually served an easy way to kind of break sashes, and one of the turns just outright killed the Salazzle, which was kind of a big deal.
yeah, I guess, is there anything else anybody like to say to the match? It was a very fun set to watch, and hopefully you guys had fun playing it.
Yeah, I had a good time. Good games.
Yeah, it was good. I think it ended up being like more or less what I thought you were gonna bring, but I knew that like speed tier wise, I was on the back foot immediately. So
I definitely was surprised to not see Primeape. I definitely prepared quite a bit for it. I mean, Mesprit was essentially just a counter to Primeape.
yeah. I thought about it actually, and I ran some calcs, and I saw that like Pult just like chunked it for 80% if you went with like Ghost Terra Blast, even through Eviolite and like a bunch of bulk. And I didn't really want to mess with that.
I don't blame you, especially since it was a Will-O-Wisp week.
yeah, that too. Like Wisp is just really good into my team. It's like good into literally everything I have except the Enamorous, basically.
Well, that's kind of one of the things I noticed when looking at your team, AJ, before this. Is kind of a lot of your kills are your lower tiers. It's the the Enamorous hadn't really had a week to shine yet, so this is kind of the first like. Do you think like Enamorous has kind of just not had as many matchups as you thought, or this was kind of like just the week for it to kind of take advantage of being fast?
Let me look at my schedule. You had Iron Boulder, which invalidated it, so I didn't bring it. Richer had what even? I don't remember what Richer's team is. Richer's like the
You had
Archeludon
Flutter,
team, right? Flutter Archeludon, yeah. I wanted to bring physical attackers into that because it's the Flutter main week. Dustin had Snow plus Okidogi, which Okidogi invalidates it, basically. I guess it could have been okay against Cam, but I didn't feel like I needed it. Joel had... I guess looking back, it probably would have made sense to bring it into Joel, I guess. I had it on the 6th, but I don't think I ever brought it. And then it's pretty bad into Sand, so I didn't bring it into Cyber. And then it's pretty bad into Overquill, so I didn't bring it into T-Zone, and then we're here.
No, fair enough.
I think it's good. I think I've just kind of had matchups where like they just have one mon that pretty much prevents me from bringing it at all. Just because like it outspeeds, it gets outsped at O-code too easily. But this week that wasn't really there, so.
For sure. Well, I think we're both glad to have you guys here. Big win for Saget. We'll see if we can get a bounce back next week for AJ. And for those tuning in next week, we'll have Saget back versus Fury. So if you enjoyed watching Chimpao, you get to watch more Chimpao in a week from now. So get excited.
Alrighty, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.
Yep. See you guys next week.